Alright, so welcome to our brand new lecture series called Daily MCQ Practice. In this lecture series, we cover daily MCQs from that day's newspaper. Today was 26th of June 2024, and whatever important events, news items were featured in today's newspaper, well, we are going to discuss MCQs from those important news items. Now, this lecture series is very important. Make this lecture series a part of your daily routine because you stand to gain three things from it. You will avail three benefits from it. Number one, your current affairs would get covered. Number two, if you have covered those current affairs already, if you have read today's newspaper, well, then your current affairs would get revised. And third, which is not less important, any less important, it's last but not the least, that is, you'll get the much required MCQ practice. If you make this lecture series a part of your daily routine, daily we'll discuss 4 to 5 MCQs from that day's newspaper. And if you follow this lecture series for 1 year, then you'll be covering 1200 MCQs from current affairs itself. And ask any serious aspirant who has cleared this exam or who has cleared prelims exam. Well, they will tell you that 1200 MCQs from current affairs are more than sufficient. As far as current affairs are concerned, well, you need not worry about them in your prelims examination. You just have to spend not more than 10 minutes daily and you'll be covering 1200 MCQs from current affairs. Current affairs is covered for you. All right? Okay. I won't discuss anything else further. Let's straight away jump to question number 1. Okay. So question number 1. Consider the following statements regarding Ayushman Bharat Yojana. It is the largest government-funded healthcare program with over 50 crore beneficiaries. Okay. Ayushman Bharat Health and Wellness Centers known as Arogya Mandir provide tertiary care to different parts of the country. Okay. Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana is the health insurance component of this scheme. Now look, Ayushman Bharat Yojana started in 2018 and it is considered as the biggest government funded healthcare program in the entire world. Not just in India, but in the entire world. Why? Because this government funded scheme has more than 50 crore beneficiaries. Nowhere else in the world any government funded healthcare program has these many beneficiaries. Okay, so it is the biggest healthcare program in the world. Now, Ayushman Bharat Yojana has two components. One is known as Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. It provides health insurance to beneficiaries. So it provides healthcare cover. So whatever hospitalization cost you incur, well, Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana provides or covers your tertiary hospital care expenses. Okay, so it is the health insurance component of Ayushman Bharat. The other component is called health and wellness centers. Recently, Government of India changed the name of these health and wellness centers to Arogya Mandirs. Okay, so now they are no longer called health and wellness centers; they are called Arogya Mandirs with a tagline called Arogya Paramam Dhanam. This is the tagline of all these health and wellness centers or Arogya Mandirs. Arogya Paramam Dhanam means health is the biggest wealth. Okay, so PM Jan Arogya Yojana is the health insurance component. This is correct. Ayushman Bharat Health and Wellness Centers, now known as Arogya Mandir, provide tertiary care to different parts of the country. No, they provide primary health care. Around 1.6 lakh primary healthcare centers called Arogya Mandirs are established in the entire country. These provide primary healthcare, not tertiary. Okay, so this statement is false. First statement is correct. The answer is 1 and 3 only. C. All right. Question number 2. Consider the following statements regarding Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita. Now look, last year Government of India, not Government of India, Parliament of India enacted 3 laws. Okay. Parliament of India enacted 3 laws. Well, number 1 was Bharatiya Nyay Samhita. All right. This will replace the Indian Penal Code of 1860. So this was Indian Penal Code was a criminal law that was enacted by the Britishers. Okay. So Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita will replace that. The other is called Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Samhita. This will replace Criminal Procedure Code, CRPC. Okay. And the other is called Bharatiya Sakshay Act. This will replace Indian Evidence Act. So Indian Evidence Act, again, these three laws were enacted by the Britishers. So government of India wanted to break away from the colonial past of our country, and that's why we have replaced these colonial laws with our own laws. Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita, IPC Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Samhita, CRPC Bharatiya Sakshay Act, Indian Evidence Act. Okay, now these three laws were enacted by Parliament in 2023, last year, but these will be operational from 1st July 2024, this year. Okay, now, Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Samhita will replace IPC 1860? No, it will replace CRPC, Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha. It's Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita that will replace Indian Penal Code. So this is false. Now, recently Government of India has said that it wants these three laws to be accessible to all Indians. For that, these three laws these three laws should be translated to local languages as well, right? As of now, these laws are translated in English and Hindi. But there are 22 scheduled languages in our country which are mentioned in Schedule 8 of the Constitution. Now, Government of India, central government has asked or written to state governments to translate these three laws into their own local languages. Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, right? So as of now, these laws have been translated only in English and Hindi, not 22 scheduled languages. So this is false. But in 6 months' time, these laws will be translated into local languages as well. Okay, so this is also false. This is also false. Only one is correct. C. Question number 3. Consider the following regarding WHO guidelines on sufficient physical activity. Insufficient physical activity is defined as not doing 150 minutes of moderate intensity activity in a day. India has the 12th highest prevalence of insufficient physical activity in the world. Lack of physical activity increases risk of cardiovascular diseases. Now look, WHO has said that a minimum amount of physical activity is required by all adults if they want to stay healthy. If they want that they do not suffer from cardiovascular diseases, if they want that they do not suffer from diabetes, if they want that they do not suffer from cancer, well, they need to exercise regularly or increase their physical activity. Now, what is the minimum amount of physical activity? As per WHO's definition, minimum amount of physical activity is in 1 week, at least you do 150 minutes in 1 week, 150 minutes of moderate intensity activity, or 75 minutes of rigorous high intensity activity. Okay, so 150 minutes of moderate jogging, running, or 75 minutes of high intensity exercises. If you do this much amount of exercise or physical activity in 1 week, well, you are doing sufficient physical activity. But if you're not able to achieve, or if you're not able to perform these many minutes of physical activity in 1 week, well, then you are at the risk of developing non-communicable diseases. Okay, you are under the category of insufficient physical activity. So it's not 150 minutes in a day, it's in a week, as per WHO's definition. Now, recently, Lancet is a very highly regarded international magazine, journal on health. Now, Lancet International actually published a report which said that majority Indians do not perform sufficient physical activity as per WHO. In fact, they say India has the 12th highest prevalence of insufficient physical activity in the world among 195 countries. So among 195 countries, India is the 12th worst performer, okay, of as far as insufficient physical activity is concerned. Plus, Lancet also said that women have less physical activity in India as compared to men. Men still move, but women don't in India, not in Western countries. Okay, so this part is also correct. And Lancet also said, this WHO has also said that lack of physical activity increases the risk of cardiovascular diseases, type 2 diabetes, cancer of ovaries, colon, breasts. All right, this is what is said by WHO and Lancet. Now, Lancet also mentioned that globally there is a decline in physical activity among adults. Globally, not just India, globally people are not performing sufficient physical activity. Now, WHO and Lancet have given 3 reasons for that. Number 1, they say that nature of work has changed. Nature of work, that means more desk-based jobs are there, more work-from-home jobs are there, which actually promote sedentary lifestyle. So that is the reason. Second reason is that environment has also changed. people do not bicycle or cycle or walk to different places. They prefer mechanized transport, for example, cars, bikes. So they don't walk or cycle that much. Third is change in leisure activity. Initially, back in like 30, 40 years back, people used to spend their leisure time by playing some sport, playing cricket, football, and all that stuff. Now, people, especially the new generation, prefers spending their leisure time in playing video games, watching TV, watching Netflix. So, this has reduced physical activity. These three reasons are the prime reasons why globally physical activity has declined. Anyway, this statement was false because it was weak. This statement is correct. This statement is correct. Only two statements are correct. The answer is B. And last but not the least, consider the following statements regarding the office of Deputy Speaker. As per the Indian Constitution, the Speaker should be from ruling party and Deputy Speaker shall be from opposition bloc. The Constitution does not specify a time frame for the appointment of Speaker and Deputy Speaker. Article 93 makes it mandatory for Lok Sabha to have a Speaker and Deputy Speaker. Alright, now look. Article 93 of the Constitution says that as soon as the new Lok Sabha starts, it has to elect a speaker and a deputy speaker. That is mentioned in Article 93 of the Constitution. Alright, so this statement is correct. As far as legislative assemblies of the state are concerned, for them there is Article 178, which says each and every legislative assembly of a state should should elect a speaker and a deputy speaker. Okay, so Article 93 says Lok Sabha should have a speaker and deputy speaker. Article 93 also says that as soon as possible, the Lok Sabha, the newly constituted Lok Sabha, should elect a speaker and a deputy speaker. Okay, as soon as possible. The Constitution uses the term as soon as possible. But the Constitution does not give a time frame. They do not provide a deadline. The Constitution does not provide a deadline by which the office of Speaker and Deputy Speaker should be elected. Right? So there is no time frame specific. This statement is also correct. And sometimes some governments actually exploit this provision. In the last Lok Sabha, which was from 2019 to 24, which is also known as the 17th Lok Sabha, the office of Speaker was there, but the office of Deputy Speaker was not there. So last Lok Sabha did not have a Deputy Speaker because there is no time frame, right? So sometimes people or governments exploit this provision. Second statement is also correct. Now, the Indian Constitution says that you have to appoint a Speaker and a Deputy Speaker. Okay? But the Indian Constitution does not say that from which party that Speaker should be or Deputy Speaker should be. But parliamentarians, MPs, have a parliamentary convention. Okay? They follow this convention that Speaker should be from the ruling party and Deputy Speaker should be from the opposition parties. Alright? This is just a parliamentary convention. It is not mentioned in the Indian Constitution. So this statement is false. Alright? Okay, so only two statements are correct. And with that, we conclude today's lecture. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And I hope it added value to your preparation. By the way, let me assure you, it will definitely add value to your preparation if you watch this lecture series. Make this lecture series a part of your daily routine for at least 1 year. Because only then you'll be able to practice 1200 MCQs. So make this lecture series a part of your daily routine. I will sign off now. I'll see you next time with MCQs from 27th June's newspaper. All right. Thank you, everyone.